Welcome to this session on definition and elements of multimedia. Today we are going to discuss the basic concepts, definition and elements of multimedia. Today multimedia is defined as the seamless digital integration of text, graphics, animation, audio, image and video in a way that provides individual users with high levels of control and interaction. The evolution of multimedia is a story of the emergence and convergence of these technologies. This session highlights the technological developments of the printing press and the emergence of the World Wide Web. What is multimedia? In everyday life, multimedia is everything you hear or see. Example, text in books, sound in music and graphics in pictures. In computing, it is the presentation of information by a computer system using text, sound and graphics. Now let us see a simple definition of multimedia. As the name implies, multimedia is the integration of multiple forms of media. This includes text, graphics, audio, video, etc. For example, a presentation involving audio and video clips would be considered a multimedia presentation. Educational software that involves animations, sound and text is called multimedia software. CDs and DVDs are often considered to be multimedia formats since they can store a lot of data and most forms of multimedia require a lot of disk space. Multimedia is the media that uses multiple forms of information content and information processing, for example, text, audio, graphics, animation and video, and facilities for interactivity to inform or entertain the user. Multimedia is similar to traditional mixed media in fine art, but with a broader scope. The term rich media is synonymous with interactive multimedia. Now we shall briefly discuss the historical aspect of multimedia domain. Now let me ask a question. Where did it all begin? That is hard to say, but one of the earliest and best known examples of multimedia was the video game Pong. Developed in 1972 by Nolan Bushnell, the founder of a then new company called Atari, the game consisted of two simple paddles that batted a square ball back and forth across the screen like tennis. It started as an arcade game and eventually ended up in many homes. In 1976, another revolution was about to start as friends Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak founded a startup company called Apple Computer. A year later, they unveiled the Apple II, the first computer to use color graphics. The computer revolution moved quickly. 1981 saw IBM's first PC, and in 1984, Apple released the Macintosh, the first computer system to use a graphical user interface, that is GUI. The Macintosh also bore the first mouse, which would forever change the way people interact with computers. In 1985, Microsoft released the first version of its Windows operating system. The same year, Commodore released the Amiga, a machine which many experts consider to be the first multimedia computer due to its advanced graphics processing power and innovative user interface. The Amiga did not fare well over the years, though, and Windows has become the standard for desktop computing. Now let's see the innovations in this area. Both Windows and the Macintosh operating systems paved the way for the rapid developments in multimedia that were to come. Since both Windows and Mac operating system handle graphics and sound, something that was previously handled by individual software applications, developers are able to create programs that use multimedia to more powerful effect. One company that has played an important role in multimedia from its very inception is Macromedia, which was formerly called Macromind. Later, Macromedia was absorbed by Adobe. In 1988, Macromedia released its landmark Director program, which allowed everyday computer users to create stunning interactive multimedia presentations. Macromedia Flash drives most of the animation and multimedia you see on the internet, while director is still used to craft high-end interactive productions. Each new development is absorbed into next year's technology, making the multimedia experience better, faster and more interesting. Now let's see who actually uses multimedia. Multimedia can be used in a variety of ways, and a multimedia presentation can be put together in a variety of different formats and can be used in different areas. Now let's see the uses of multimedia in the education sector. In education, multimedia can be used as a source of information. Students can search encyclopedias which provide facts on a variety of different topics using multimedia presentations. Teachers can use multimedia presentations to make lessons more interesting by using animations to highlight or demonstrate key points. A multimedia presentation can also make it easier for pupils to read text rather than trying to read a teacher's writing on the board. Programs which show pictures and text while children are reading a story can help them learn to read. These two are a form of multimedia presentation. Now let's see the uses of multimedia in the business sector. Multimedia is used for advertising and selling products on the internet. Some business units use multimedia for training, where CD-ROMs or online tutorials allow staff to learn at their own speed and at a suitable time to the staff and the company. Another benefit is that this form of training saves the company money, as they do not have to pay the additional expenses of an employee attending a course away from the workplace. Now the uses of multimedia in leisure. People use the internet for a wide range of reasons, including shopping and finding out about their hobbies. The internet has many multimedia elements embedded in web pages, and web browsers support a variety of multimedia formats. Many computer games use soundtracks, 3D graphics and video clips. As we said, this multimedia incorporates various forms of media in a single platform. So it is having different set of elements. Now let's see the major elements of multimedia. Multimedia applications can include many types of media. The primary characteristic of a multimedia system is the use of more than one kind of media to deliver content and functionality. Web and desktop computing programs can both involve multimedia components. A multimedia application will normally involve programming code and enhanced user interaction. Multimedia items generally fall into one of 5 main categories and use varied techniques for digital formatting. These 5 techniques are text, images, audio, video and animation or graphics. The first one is text. It may be an easy content type to forget when considering multimedia systems, but text content is by far the most common media type in computing applications. Most multimedia systems use a combination of text and other media to deliver functionality. Text in multimedia systems can express specific information, or it can act as reinforcement for information contained in other media items. This is a common practice in applications with accessibility requirements. For example, when web pages include image elements, they can also include a short amount of text for the user's browser to include as an alternative in case the digital image item is not available. The second one is images. Digital image files appear in many multimedia applications. Digital photographs can display application content or can alternatively form part of a user interface. Interactive elements such as buttons often use custom images created by the designers and developers involved in an application. Digital image files use a variety of formats and file extensions. Among the most common are JPEGs, GIFs and PNGs. Both of these often appear on websites as the formats allow developers to minimize on file size while maximizing on picture quality. Graphic design software programs such as Photoshop and Paint allow developers to create complex visual effects with digital images. The third one is audio. Audio files and streams play a major role in some multimedia systems. Audio files appear as a part of application content and also to aid interaction. When they appear within web applications and sites, audio files sometimes need to be deployed using plug-in media players. Audio formats include MP3, WMA, WAV, MIDI, and Real Audio. When developers include audio in a website, they will generally use a compressed format to minimize on-download time. Web services can also stream audio so that users can begin playback before the entire file is downloaded. The fourth one is video. Digital video appears in many multimedia applications, particularly on the web. As with audio, websites can stream digital video to increase the speed and availability of playback. Common digital video formats include Flash, MPEG, AVI, WMV, and QuickTime. Most digital video requires use of browser plugins to play within web pages, but in many cases, the user's browser will already have the required resources installed. And the last one is animation or graphics. Animated components are common within both web and desktop multimedia applications. Animations can also include interactive effects, allowing users to engage with the animation action using their mouse and keyboard. The most common tool for creating animations on the web is Adobe Flash, which also facilitates desktop applications. Using Flash, developers can author FLV files, exporting them as SWF movies for deployment to users. Flash also uses ActionScript code to achieve animated and interactive effects. Now let's see what are the representation dimensions of media. Media is divided into two types based on the time in their representation space. The first is time independent, that is discrete. Information is expressed only in its individual value, for example text, image, etc. And the second is time dependent, that is continuous. Information is expressed not only in its individual value but also by the time of its occurrences, for example sound and video. Multimedia system is defined by computer controlled, integrated production, manipulation, presentation, storage and communication of independent information which is encoded at least through a continuous and discrete media. Now let's discuss the major classification of media. The perception media, the representation media, the presentation media, the storage media, the transmission media and the information exchange media. The first one is perception media. Perception media help the users to sense their environment. The central question is how the user perceives information in a computer environment. The answer is through seeing and hearing. Seeing, for the perception of information through seeing as usual, such as text, image and video are used. In hearing, for the perception of information through hearing media such as music, noise and speech are used. The second one is representation media. Representation media are defined by internal computer representation of information. The central question is how the computer information is coded. The answer is that various formats are used to represent media information in computer. First is text. Character is coded in ASCII code. Second, graphics are coded according to CEPT or Captain Video Text Standard. Third, image can be coded as JPEG format. Fourth, audio video sequence can be coded in different TV standard formats like PAL, NTSC, CCAM and stored in computer in MPEG format. The third one is presentation media. Presentation media refers to the tools and devices for the input and output of the information. The central question is through which the information is delivered by the computer is introduced to the computer. Output media, that is paper, screen, speaker. Input media, that is keyboard, mouse, camera and microphone. The fourth one is storage media. Storage media refers to the data carrier which enables storage of information. The central question is how will the information be stored? The answer is hard disk, CD-ROM, etc. The fifth one is transmission media. The transmission media are the different information carriers that enables continuous data transmission. The central question is through which media information will be transmitted? The answer is coaxial cable, fiber optics as well as free air. And the sixth one is information exchange media. Information exchange media includes all information carrier for transmission, that is all storage and transmission media. The central question is which information carrier is used for information exchange between different places? The answer is the combined uses of storage and transmission media, for example electronic mailing system. Now let us summarize the whole session. Multimedia has become an inevitable part of any presentation. It has found a variety of applications right from entertainment to education. The evolution of internet has also increased the demand for multimedia content. Multimedia is the media that uses multiple forms of information content and information processing, for example text, audio, graphics, animation, video and facilities for interactivity to inform or entertain the user. Multimedia also refers to the use of electronic media to store and experience multimedia content. Multimedia is similar to traditional mixed media in fine art but with a broader scope. The term rich media is synonymous with interactive media. Now try to work out the given assignments. 1. Analyze a website of your choice and identify various multimedia elements incorporated in it. 2nd, identify 3 examples each of different representations or classifications of media. 3. Examine the growth of multimedia development in India. 4. Identify 5 online tutorials to learn and train multimedia content. 5. Briefly review any of the books on the fundamental aspects of multimedia. Now I can suggest some books and websites for your further studies. Multimedia and the Web, written by C. Coro, published by Orlando in 2001. Multimedia Concepts Enhanced Edition with Illustrated Introductory, written by J. Schumann and published by Thomson Course Technology in 2002. Introduction to Multimedia, written by A. W. Solomon and published by McGraw-Hill in 2004. Multimedia Making It Work, 5th edition, written by T. Vaughan and published by McGraw-Hill in 2001. Web link www.shlomifish.org, www.multimedialearning.com, www.tutorialfind.com, www.iiscs.wssu.edu. That is the end of this session. We will meet again in the next session. Goodbye.